Today we're going to give you some tips on how you can look cooler on the football pitch, in our opinion at least. Now the funny thing is that none of these tips are going to make you an actual better footballer, but hey, on the other hand, don't we all want to look cool on the pitch? Yeah, I guess we do. Number 5 is base layer shorts, which might be a bit of a funny thing because a lot of people wear them for compression or, protection when they do slide tackles or even to keep their muscles warm. And those are completely legitimate reasons. I do that myself. But common for those people is that wearing a pair of base layer shorts underneath their playing shorts just looks ridiculously cool. And I mean, look at it this way. What would you rather see if your shorts start crawling up during a match? A white hairy thigh or a cool looking pair of compression shorts? Yeah, me too. Now, number 4 might be one of the most nonsensical things in the history of football, but damn it if it doesn't look cool. Of course, we're talking about taping up your wrists. Now, I know that there are some players out there, and especially goalkeepers, who really like to tape up their wrists to get the extra wrist support, but I honestly doubt that there are too many of the players who actually do this that really need it. But bottom line is that it just looks really cool, of course, if you do it properly. And there might be some people out there who would call this a super douchebag move, and I could understand them, although I actually do it myself. But at least you're gonna be a really badass looking douchebag in the process, and also learn how to handle pain when you pull it off again. Now, tip number 3 is also to use tape, but this time on your shin pads, because not only does it look super cool, unlike the whole wrist wrapping thing, it actually serves a practical purpose, hallelujah, of keeping your shin pads in place and prevent them from sliding around, which is super annoying. Now, of course, you can also use the normal shin pad straps, but while they do a job, they also look a little bit chunky, which in my opinion is not that nice. What I would do instead is to go for some of the medium-sized Premier sock tape, either the actual tape or the wrap, which has a good width to it, so it's not only going to give you a nice alternative color to your sock game, but there's also the fact that it kind of gathers all the loose material around your ankle to make it look more tight, more lean, and a little bit more nimble, which in my book looks a little bit more cool. So you've got the looks, you've got the functionality. What more can you want? But number 2, you want more, because this is pulling your socks above the knees. And I'm gonna stop you right there, because yes, there will be a lot of people out there claiming that this is another classic douchebag move. And they might be right, but you know what? There's just no denying that it looks hella cool. And I mean, all the cool kids did it. Thierry Henry, Cristiano Ronaldo. And I mean, if Thierry Henry approves, it has to be cool. Of course, there is the exception of John Terry, who was, well, it wasn't that cool, but you get what I mean. Now, pulling the socks just above the knee is a little bit too much for you. Just below the knee also tends to work because it still looks really cool, and also the socks tend to stay a bit better in place. At least, that's what I personally do, and we all know that my taste is absolutely flawless. Now, as always, there are a few honorable mentions with tips I wanted to share with you. For instance, if you have long hair, you can use hairbands, maybe not this color, but slightly cooler looking colors, to make sure that your perfect hairdo looks just as good when you finish the match as it did when you started. But please guys, promise me to only do this if you have actual long hair, unless you want to look like a wannabe tennis player from the 80s. Now, another thing is to go and get the Nike Hyper Warm Snug that will not only just keep your face warm, but also make you look a little bit like Bane. So if you're into that, I reckon this is pretty cool looking too. And of course, there's also the fact that you can go and get some of your favorite team's shirts in long sleeves and rock those. And I mean, I think long sleeves looks really, really cool. And if we look back in the days, David Beckham also exclusively rocked long sleeves and actually did it so well that these days Antoine Griezmann also exclusively wears long sleeves because of David Beckham. And they're both stylish fellas. I mean, you kind of get the deal here. And finally, one of my best tips is to color match your gear. So instead of having a yellow shirt and blue shorts and red socks and I don't know, green boots, that's gonna look a bit like a mess. So if you coordinate everything and make it look like you actually thought about matching everything up, it's gonna make you look that much cooler, especially if you also do trick number 1. Because my final tip is that you get the right size of your gear. And it might sound a bit daft. Why will the right size make me look cool on the pitch? Well, if we turn it around, the wrong size is gonna make you look really uncool. And let's just be honest, baggy might be really cool in the world of fashion, but it never really made anyone look cool on the pitch. So instead, go and get the right size of your gear and make sure you get something that's, of course, pretty comfortable, but that you also get a tight-ish fit to make you look more athletic and a little bit more lean. And I promise you that even if this trick is the only one you do, you're gonna look very, very cool if you get the right size, no matter what other gear you're rocking. So there you go, my friends, 5 tips on how you can look cooler on the pitch, which is of course very personal, but also keep in mind that it's not gonna change a single thing in terms of your actual performance, unless feeling fly is gonna make you play better. And of course, there will also be haters out there who's gonna say that this is super daft and it looks stupid and maybe it's straight up laughable. But guys, the most important thing is what you think makes you look cool on the pitch. As always, you should let us know in the comment section right down below. And if you thought the tips were useful and you want some of these things to make you look cooler, you can go and pick everything up via the link and go to unisportstore.com right over there. Now, of course, also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to go subscribe and slap on the notifications to see all our latest videos the second they drop. And if you want to learn some pretty cool looking skills from Kylian Mbappe, you can click the playlist right down there and go have some fun. And with that said, guys, I'm signing off. Cheerio.